today. We are delighted to meet Sam of Red Barn Ministries. Sam, thanks so much for being with us all the way from Connecticut.
Yeah, thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Red Barn Ministries has some great roots. Tell us how serving with your wife in Haiti and some of the things you did led to Meet, and we can spell that, and Greet, and Red Barn.
Well, my wife and I served about a year in Haiti as missionaries. We helped establish a program down there with it's called Haiti 180, and it's a children's home. At least that's how it began, as a children's home. And I have a background in construction, so I worked with a Haitian crew, and we built a beautiful children's home down there, which now has over 30 kids living in it.
Wow.
With a full Haitian staff. It's a really great project that's expanded quite a bit, actually. And we came back from Haiti, and I was supposed to become a grown-up at that point. So what I ended up doing was getting a graduate degree in theology at Holy Apostles College and Seminary in Cromwell, Connecticut. And I ended up teaching theology at the high school level for about 4 years. And during that time, my wife and I bought our first home, which had a big red barn on the property. It was an old horse barn. And we weren't really sure what we were going to do with it, but it was a nice big piece of property with this big barn, and so we cleaned it out, and we kind of looked at it and said, well, what should we do? Well, why don't we throw a party? And so we got all of our friends and their families together and had a big gathering, and everybody just had such a great time. We realized it'd be a wonderful opportunity for ministry. So my brother and some friends and I got together and threw this big barbecue. We called it a Catholic Faith Night for Men. It's kind of like the ultimate barbecue. So we called it Meet and Greet, M-E-A-T, and all sorts of shenanigans and silly things going down. And we've been doing it twice a year for 7 or 8 years now. And it's become really great. In fact, a couple of the vocation directors in Connecticut, Director Vocations in Hartford and in Bridgeport, reached out. And for the last 2 years, we've run a Meet and Greet barbecue day for the seminarians in the diocese.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
That's
this year we have
fantastic.
four dioceses coming together to celebrate and have a nice day of fellowship and fun for the seminarians.
Amazing how God works, the ideas that He puts into your heart and your mind. You know, in my parishes in Walpole, we have a lot of young families, a lot of teenagers. I get to confirm them, so I try to get to know them. I understand that you have some unique thoughts and approaches to retreats with teenagers. I'd love to hear about it.
Yeah, so I ended up teaching at the high school level, religion at the high school level, and I taught for 4 years, and I kind of got the gist of working with teens and presenting the gospel to them. And then I had an opportunity to begin giving talks and retreats, primarily to teens, at confirmation retreats and talks with confirmation students and their parents. And so my approach is, it's pretty down to earth. I don't want to get, I like just having conversations with people, having discussions and engaging them, challenging the young people in the culture that they're growing up in, which isn't always friendly to the faith, and just kind of build them up and showing them that this is probably the best way to ground them. To be grounded in their faith is the best way for them to approach their lives. And so, yeah, my approach is really just to kind of create some clarity in the chaos, the busy lives that they live. And so much of their life is lived looking down into their phone.
They always do. Yeah.
Yes, and so, to address that and say, let's look up that we should be building real relationships that go beyond a screen, and yeah, just pushing them towards Christ, and to say, the ultimate relationship is here, and it grounds you for all of these other relationships, which will bring more fulfillment, to you.
What is the biggest obstacle, though? Because I have 2 teenagers now. One is no longer a teenager. It goes by quick. What do they face?
Oh, that's a broad question.
Well, that's me.
I think for each one, it's going to be different. But when I look at the culture as a whole, I'd say that young people in particular, maybe everyone, but young people in particular, are struggling with 2 main things. They don't quite know who they are. I think it's a crisis of identity and a crisis of meaning. They're not quite sure why they're alive. What are they living for? And I think that our faith is exactly what they need. I think it's the solution to those problems. Who am I? So many people are trying to grasp onto this. This is who I am. This is my identity. Whereas at the end of the day, I think if you can really step back and understand that your main identity is you are a beloved child of God, to give them that clarity, all of the other stresses that they have in their life can begin to fade away as long as they fully understand your identity is you're a beloved child of God, and your meaning, your purpose is to come to know Him.
We're running out of time. Now, first of all, you had me at barbecue, so we were good right off the bat. Tell me about your work. So you would go to parishes and you speak at parish. Tell me about that.
I do. I run a lot of confirmation retreats and things of that nature. I'll go into a school and give some talks or run a retreat for young people.
This is good to know, by the way.
Yeah. Yes. So I'm glad to share it. So people can contact us if they look up the website, which is redbarnministries.org. They can get in touch with us, and we'd be more than happy to come out and give them a good experience and try to lead them closer to Christ.
We just might be getting in touch with you at walpolecatholic.net, at redbarnministries.org.
I like that.
Well, Sam, thanks so much for being in here, for all the work you do as a dad of young kids. I'm just thrilled that you're doing this, and as a lover of barbecue, I'm thrilled that you're doing stuff at the Red Barn too.
And a barn owner too. My
right.
niece up in Boxford, they have a barn on their property too, so it's a nice addition.
It's
to
a great
the property.
resource.
Yeah.